Okay, here we are for the G-Man show, the G-Man Talks Boxing. Here we are in the wonderful Vortex downstairs, jazz bar in the heart of throbbing Dalston. It's a place we've visited before. But we're here on a very special occasion, which is the aftermath of the great big fight in Las Vegas between Tyson Fury, who defeated Deontay Wilder in the 7th round by stoppage. Now, there's been a lot of internet talk, but G-Man, it has to be said that you got it 120% spot on, didn't you?
Celebration. What we're seeing now is a real champion. A man who goes there and takes it. That's what we're talking about. That is the difference between winning a title and being a champion. A champion is someone who goes and dictates and takes it. Belongs to me. So we have to say hallelujah to Mr. Tyson.
So what's quite amazing is that there were so many amazing points about that amazing contest, but Fury relocated. I'm not casting aspersions on trainers over here because I'm not prepared to do that.
No.
But Fury seemed to he went to the Kronk with Emmanuel Stewart's nephew, and they kind of taught him to fight on the front foot, and he was taking the fight all the time to Wilder. He didn't give ground not 1 inch like last time.
Well, you know, if you want to be a champion, it's not a given thing. If you have to wait for these other people to make a decision for you, then you're not really a champion. You can't sit back and wait for judges and fans and all. That is not a champion. A champion is a person who overcomes obstacles, who brings the referee in to say, ref, you do your job. I'm going to do mine.
There's so many talking points, it's hard to know when to start. All the excuses. I know you're not, G-Man, you're not big on the internet and Facebook groups. I am. And I can't begin to tell you some of the theories that have come out. I mean, from Wilder's costume being too heavy. I mean, being too heavy. There was actually a clip of him training with a 40-pound vest on. And yet he's complaining that the ring walk with that costume on softened his legs. What's all that about?
Well, you know, when there's a loss, there's an excuse. So please, let us go with the excuse. It's just an excuse. It's just an excuse. What I'm concerned about as a coach myself, I want to know why coaches are not appreciated for saving a man's life.
You're talking
serious.
You're talking about Mark Breland, of course.
Of course.
Who threw in the towel. What I found very disturbing was it Jay Diaz, who's also been with Breland for, year dot with Wilder. He got up after and said, "Oh, it wasn't me. I didn't give permission for the towel to be thrown in." Does permissions come into it when a man's life is in danger?
Definitely not. You know, I have a problem with that as a coach. A coach's job is to make sure that a fighter ego that is at stake, because that's what it's all about. You know, and from that point of view, I got to say that Mark Breland, he did a fantastic job. If I was in that corner, I would have stopped that fight. You can sack me, but I'm going to save your life.
Well, he has been sacked, which strikes me as being extremely bizarre and bizarre behaviour from the people that made the costume. They haven't got sacked. They haven't got sacked. He's told them that he's happy with them and they've sorted out the difference. It's been a man that saved his life, possibly, or whatever, or saved his career. He got the sack. I mean, really. I mean, I've heard some nonsense coming out of the Wilder camp since the fight, and from a lot of people. But I will say this: the attitude from most Americans.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Most Americans, whatever color, as that Fury simply won, and that was that.
For real. But what my question to you is: there going to be a third fight?
Personally, the pay-per-view numbers came in, and not many people know this, so I'm going to reveal them now. The fight made a small profit. After Fury and Wilder took their purses, the show made a small profit. Not a big profit, a small profit. The pay-per-view buys are about 800,000 or 900,000. I don't see 800,000 or 900,000 people buying Fury Wilder 3. I just don't. But what I do say, and I've said it on the internet, and most people have appreciated what I am saying, is that I will buy the fight again, which I did last time, providing Deontay Wilder changes his entire training setup.
I'm here.
Listen, he could do a lot worse. Now, moving on to something we discussed, when Anthony Joshua's bubble got burst by Andy Ruiz, we speculated that was the ruination of the British fight scene, because 80,000 people that regularly came to Wembley to watch Anthony Joshua, suddenly his prestige was ruined in one fight. Even though he won it back in Saudi Arabia, has Fury completely restored British boxing?
Well, listen, you've got to take in consideration, as the 3 world champions, we've got 2. We've got 2. We must be doing something right. We've got to be doing something right. Fury went over there, came back with not a given, a taken. The most prolific heavyweight there is right now from the previous one we saw recently is Fury. What I would like to see is Joshua and Fury get it on. That's what I would like to see.
Terence Crawford is probably the best pound for pound in the world at the moment with Lomachenko and with Canelo. He said in his interview, they interviewed him after the fight, he said, nobody is going to beat Tyson Fury. That is what he said.
Well, you know what? I tend to agree with him. Tyson Fury's got some work, from a coaching point of view, Tyson Fury's got some work to do. He's got some work to do because he's coming forward. But when he gets that right, as I said on this channel before, he's going to be a very hard man to beat in the next 5 years. Watch this space. So what's happening now is that if I was Wilder's manager, agent, or whatever, the money that is being thrown to me now to step aside so that Fury and Joshua can get it on, I would accept that within paper that I meet the winner.
My question is this. Obviously, Wilder, with all these excuses, he's just simply very embarrassed by what happened. That's what it is. He's incredibly embarrassed. He feels he let his nation down. So I suspect that the excuses will go away. But the question is, he's now put in for the rematch. Do you think that money and time will talk and that he will step aside on the basis that he gets step aside money and he faces the winner of Fury versus Joshua?
Well, money will change denial because he's in denial right now. He's actually in denial that he actually lost the fight.
He is.
So money will change the denial. How much money? We don't know. That's in the clauses and things like that. But it'd be interesting to see that the 3 of them get it on.
So in actual fact, Deontay Wilder could still come out of this quite well.
Oh, for sure.
Because he could get a big step-aside check, and then he could fight the winner of Fury and Joshua. So he's still part of the trilogy, isn't he?
Well, sure. Not only that, we got to bring back Andy Ruiz in the situation. Because it's unfair that Andy Ruiz lost one fight, and it seems that he's the forgotten man. Forgotten about what?
Well, he's forgotten because he didn't train. He just simply didn't train for the contest. That's the problem. He didn't train for the contest, and if he didn't train for that contest, put on all those pounds, then he doesn't deserve to get another shot at the title. Surely, he can't have trained for Joshua. He was so overweight.
We want to have a look at this situation. We are fans. We are boxing fans. We're not political fans. We're not interested in the politics. What we're really interested in is that one man lost a fight and all of a sudden he's forgotten. Come on. Every good fighter loses at some stage. If you don't want to lose, don't get in the ring.
I don't think Ruiz is going to get his shot anytime soon. But one man that I do not understand who does not get a shot and who's trying his hardest to do it, but he just can't, is Dillian Whyte. What do you make of that? His brother went over to pitch for him at the show. What do you make of Dillian Whyte? He's a credible contender, surely.
John, I got to tell you, Dillian Whyte is one of the most improved fighters there is.
For sure.
He has to be in the mix, even if they have to bring him Andy Ruiz, Dillian Whyte, Andy Ruiz, get it on, and the winner comes into the bracket. Because somewhere along the line, everybody has to beat Fury.
Well, I sincerely hope that Dillian Whyte gets his shot, because the only fight he's lost is to Joshua. He's improved enormously. He's had a load of fights. I just think they're avoiding him. What do you think?
I think that Dillian Whyte, he's earned that right to be in the mix. The thing about it is that, as you know, politics play the game. Politics, that plays the game. I think he's got the emblem now to be actually. Would he be one of the world champions? Do you think he can carry that emblem?
I think that Wilder can. I think that Dillian Whyte can pull it off. I think he's waited long enough. I just think the longer he's waiting, the more mean he's becoming. And I've just got a sneaking feeling that he could, if he gets that chance, he might cause an upset. That's what I think. Because he's mean enough now. He'll want to go there and kill whoever is in front of him. Because has he waited. He has waited an age and a day.
Opportunity hasn't come his way.
Moving on to other contenders, obviously you've got Joyce and Dubois, you've got Povetkin's still in the mix. You've got Filip Hrgovic coming through. There's a few coming through. There are a few coming through, but I think it's very tasty, the heavyweight division in the next year.
It's getting hot. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. It's hotting up. The heat is on. Will Wilder last the distance?
And of course, we talked about it last time, but we've got the possibility of Usyk versus Derek Chisora. That is a fight that's intriguing because can Chisora still cut it with the top, and can Usyk make it in the heavyweight division? You have to get through Derek, don't you?
You got to get through Derek, and he ain't no bum. Anyone who goes there thinking that he is just a walkover, they're going to find out that they're in big problems. It's going to be interesting.
Great mix. Thank you very much to the G-Man from European Video Network, to, of course, our fabulous cameraman,
The Fury.
Mo.
The Fury.
To the Fury.
To the Fury.
There can only be one.
The
There
Fury.
can only be one, and it's Tyson Fury.
The Fury.